Hey there, pasta people, your perfect nightmare here. I'm sorry this pasta's up late, but before we begin, I have a few important shoutouts, so I'll try and keep this fairly brief. First off, I'd like to thank Fourth Stories for writing this pasta. I think it's really well done, and she's a very talented author. She also wrote Slip Trip, which I narrated about a month ago, so if you missed that one, click the annotation to check it out, and check out her channel linked in the description below. She also has some awesome narrations up, so check that out. Also, if you guys want to email me either your true scary stories or creepypastas you've written, please email them to the email address which is also in the description. I love narrating fan submissions. Next up, you may have noticed the amazing thumbnail of this video, which is also the background right now, and this awesome piece of artwork was drawn by the talented Patrick Silveira, and I encourage you all to go check out his DeviantArt account, linked in the annotation and again in the description. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it, and his work is all really fantastic, so you won't regret it. Last, but certainly not least, if you like hearing my voice for some strange reason, and want to hear me voice a creepy child, because who wouldn't, check out my collaboration with Spectre Arcane, the Lucien twins. She's an amazing narrator with an awesome voice, and definitely worth checking out, and our collaboration, again, will be in the annotations and in the description. I've said that a lot this video, so please don't forget to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and finally, without further ado, I present to you Howling Black. My neighbor is a blind man who spends most of his days at home alone. I feel really sorry for him because hardly anyone comes to visit him. Not once have I seen family or friends keep him company. When I have time on my hands, I go over to talk to him. Some of the things we talk about are from his past. He's a very superstitious man, but I don't mind listening to his ramblings. One day, I decide to go pay a visit to my blind neighbor. His house isn't too far from where I live. I hurry along the way, because overhead I see rainfall approaching. The sky begins to darken, and the wind picks up a bit of speed. As I approach the door, I see that it's already open. I peer inside, then call out to him. "Mr. Reed? Are you home?" This is unusual, because he never leaves his house. The man's not capable of trying to open his front door, let alone go off somewhere. I can feel my stomach turning into a knot. As I step forward in the front foyer, I notice a smell. A burning smell. The kind you get when you leave a pot on a stovetop too long. A vile odor blends with the burnt stench, like rotten eggs. Oh God, I hope he didn't try cooking anything, I thought dreadfully. But when I step into the kitchen, nothing is burning on the stove. I'm having a head-scratch moment when I see the sight of an empty kitchen. Just as I continue to pace around the house, the loud echo of a bark stops me at the back door. I turn to catch a blur of movement from the corner of my eye. I whipped my head around so fast and still couldn't catch a glimpse of it. Maybe he bought a new seeing eye dog? Again, I see a flash of black speeding past the kitchen and into his living room. I follow in hot pursuit, knowing that I'm not going insane over something trivial. I'm sure it's a dog. I look in the living room and hear a low baritone of a bark. I don't see the dog anywhere. Gently, a tapping sound approaches near, and I hear a cough. Mr. Reed appears with his blind stick, tapping away at the floor. Mr. Reed, there you are. I came to check up on you. I walk over to him and help him take a seat. You don't have to. I'm battling a bad cough. I need to get to my doctor ASAP. His voice is raspy, almost hoarse. Why don't you have a seat? It's been a while since you stopped by. He urges me kindly to keep him company. This visit will have to be cut short, not because I mind spending time with him. Whatever I'm seeing from the corner of my eye disturbs me. can't say that I'm tired or on anything. The smell from earlier bothers me too. That dreadful smell of burnt ash is very unsettling. It couldn't be the heater. It's not even cold outside. What is that smell? Did you burn something in the house? My nostrils flare when the odor fills my lungs. My head is swimming, my stomach churning, and I want to vomit all over the living room floor. I don't smell anything. What does it smell like? He coughs heavily while covering his mouth. It smells like something is burning? Did you try to... I stop mid-sentence as my gaze fixates near the end of the couch. He says something. His words flow in one ear and out the other. The sound of his voice distorts as I just stare at the soft glow of orange orbs. His new dog, maybe? I've never known a dog to act like this. I look to Mr. Reed to speak as I stray away from the two eyes that are burning into mine. I'm sorry. Say that again? I want him to repeat what I'd missed. I said I don't smell anything. Just smells like my house. Well, I wanted to tell you. His voice trails off again, now sounding as if all the sound in the house is being sucked into a void. A low growl vibrates through the living room as I lock my gaze on that thing that stares back at me from behind the couch. A head emerges to reveal itself. A thick coat of fur surrounds its face. My breath is caught in my throat. Its ears perk up, as if it hears the gasp I let out. I am trying to find the words to say at the moment. But what the hell are you supposed to say to a blind man about his... dog? I'd better get going. I'm so sorry, Mr. Reed, to cut our visit short, but I can come back later. I am a terrible person, I know. What can I say? I hated to run out on him like that. It's not characteristic of me to do so. I'm just so afraid to return back to his home. Back to that house. I can't go back. I'm sorry. I would say about a week later, Mr. Reed died. The news came from another neighbor. The neighbor had gone over to check on him, and strange enough, he passed into sleep. What really disturbs me is that when the neighbor checked up on him, she too discovered that horrific smell. I did inquire about the dog, and what would happen to him. She simply said she would take care of it, and that it followed her home the day he died.